What do Carrefour, Walmart, and Uber have in common? They are big and rich, yes, but they failed to Korea. They either left, sold, or didn't penetrate the market. Why? Because Korea isn't just another checkbox on your global expansion. It's a fundamentally different business ecosystem that most Western executives misunderstand. Hear what nobody tell you about implementing Salesforce in Korea. The GAFAM ecosystem that dominates the West, they barely exist here. Instead, you're dealing with Kakao, Naver, and an entirely different digital infrastructure that your headquarters team probably know nothing about. And that's before we even talk about the time zone nightmare. While your headquarters needs this critical document from Korea, there is nothing in the office yet anymore. And those daily stand-up and agile methodologies that work so well really hard to replicate. But the deepest problem isn't technical or logistical. It's cultural. Current business processes don't mirror Western ones. The decision-making hierarchy, the communication protocol, the very definition of what constitutes a successful implementation, it's all different here. I have watched countless multinational companies pour resources into Korean Salesforce implementation only to end up with systems that their local team resist using. Not because the technology is bad, but because implementation ignored Korean business reality. This is why I have created 3 strategic advisory services specifically for Western companies implementing Salesforce in Korea. And I'm not talking about theory here. After managing over 10 million worth Salesforce projects for global companies, I have seen the exact pattern that makes or break international implementation. What works in Paris, New York, simply doesn't translate to Seoul without significant adaptation. The first component of how I can help you is a strategic advisory for pre-implementation. This isn't just another planning session. I perform a deep initial assessment that analyzes the specific current market challenge for your industry. I review your implementation strategy through a Korean cultural lens, evaluate resource requirements based on local reality, conduct informed risk assessment, and if needed, help you select partner who understand the current business ecosystem. More importantly, I validate if your budget and timeline assumption makes sense for Korea. Spoiler alert, they probably don't. The second component is a implementation oversight. Once you are in execution mode, I provide quality assurance and governance that bridge Western methodology with current business reality. I handle the project management, I monitor risk through a cultural intelligence framework, track progress against Korean-specific milestones, manage stakeholders across time zone and cultural context, monitor critical paths with an eye for Korean-specific bottleneck, and create escalation protocol that work within Korean and Western organization hierarchy. And finally, the last component is a program leadership services. This is where I ensure strategic alignment between your global vision and current market realities, facilitates executive communication that transcends cultural barrier, coordinates stakeholders across cultural context, manage partner relationship with cultural intelligence, track success metrics that matter in Korea and for your headquarters, and oversee value realization through a framework that honors both Western ROI expectation and current business priorities. To be transparent, these services aren't for everyone. You need to have either an internal Salesforce team or have already selected an implementation partner. You need also an executive sponsor who is willing to acknowledge that Korea requires different approach, and you need clear project ownership with decision-making authority. If you're serious about successful Salesforce implementation in Korea, let's have a conversation. I'm not offering a magic bullet here. I'm offering strategic intelligence that prevent expensive mistakes. The link in the description will take you to my calendar where you can book a 30-minute discovery call. No pitching, just an assessment of whether your current Salesforce implementation needs the kind of strategic oversight I provide. Because implementing Salesforce in Korea without cultural intelligence isn't just inefficient, it's corporate malpractice.